Hey everyone, my name is Tahir.
I'm Aneesa.
Welcome to the Offbeet Life Podcast. This is episode number 3. And today's episode is all about our top 5 vegan travel tips. Here they come. But before we get started, we would love for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, check us out on Instagram and Facebook, as well as our podcast, which can be found on Google and Apple. So definitely check us out there. We bring you lots of different content. Each platform has different and diverse content, so please check it out. All right, Aneesa, here we go. It is travel season. It's exciting. Travel restrictions are starting to open up slowly, so it's a bit safer to travel. The weather is nice. We love traveling. We're actually planning a little trip ourselves. Maybe we'll tell you about it later. We'll see. But we wanted to share some travel tips for people to help them out on some things that worked for us when we travel. Traveling is not easy, especially if you have any type of food restrictions. So for people who are vegan, they're often like, oh geez, what do I do? How do I travel? It can be a little challenging. We're here to fix all that with our 5 tips. So Aneesa, take it over. What's tip number 1? Not trip number 1, tip number 1.
So tip number 1 is to prepare food in advance. So what we like to do is make sure that we've got food that we can take with us that will sustain us in the event that we can't find, appropriate vegan options. And it also makes it easier so we have less to think about when we are traveling. So one of the things that we love to do is actually put together, I actually have an example here of this oatmeal pack. So I just have, a single serving of oatmeal that I mix up with chia seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds as well, and then some dried fruit. And I add in like cinnamon and things like that just to flavor it up. And then when we get to our hotel, wherever we're staying, we've each got, a bunch of these packages. We can dump this into, a mug from the hotel. We don't necessarily travel with our own, but often the hotel will have like mugs and a kettle. So we're good to go for breakfast in the morning.
Maybe.
Or a bowl, yeah. If they have bowls, or you can even ask for bowls there too. And then this just sets up right away. You might even have a microwave in your room, which is great. But if you don't, then just the kettle does the job for this. And what we love about this hack is that it takes care of that first meal in the morning, so you can just get out on your way and start discovering and enjoying, the place that you're traveling at. And then, later on in the day when we want to eat lunch, then we might eat that outside. But this gets us, sustained. We've got really healthy, good food, slow release energy, all the good stuff. And don't worry, we always reuse these bags. So we, wash them out and use them again and again for all of our trips. But that is an amazing way that we find that's really helpful. And we actually even use this sometimes when the hotel has breakfast. We will have the breakfast at the hotel if they have some great vegan options, and many places do now actually, which is nice. But then maybe later in the day, in the afternoon or something, we're feeling hungry. Sometimes the oatmeal does the job even at that time.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We definitely.
It's been a lifesaver, honestly.
Yeah.
It's helped us out so much on so many different occasions. And it saves you money from eating that one meal, outside. If you're eating every meal outside, this saves you from that one meal, and that's a lot of money when you're traveling.
And it's also, that you've got like that good nutrition in when you start, because when you're eating out, sometimes you can have like oils and high salt things and things like that, which are not the end of the world when you're traveling, but you've got that one good healthy meal you before you even get out the door. Another thing that we like to do is, I like to prepare our energy balls in advance. And we take them with us because they travel really well. So those are just balls that I make up that are made out of dried fruit and nuts, sometimes seeds. And we take those with us. They're great for when we're at the airport or when we're traveling or we need a snack. When we're at our destination, sometimes we pack them with us to, snack on the road while we're going from, location to location. So we're never found, being hungry, right?
Yeah, for more about those date balls, check out our stuff on Instagram. And we'll also pack, we'll go to the grocery store before we leave. We'll take other, fruit nut bars and other things. And we'll take this really solid care package, which will help us for the trip. So a lot of preparation ahead of time. That is the key.
Yeah, no, and that's a great point. Now, even at the grocery store, you can find things like dried lentils that are cooked, they're cooked lentils and they're flavored, and chickpeas and things like that too. Again, that you can kind of snack on. So we're getting that really good protein hit in the event that sometimes some restaurants, they may not have a vegan option for us, and they're putting together a salad or something, and we need that protein, and we can get it on the side. So a lot of great things out there even from your regular grocery store, but we always make sure we're packing in advance.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay, tip number 2.
So that one is planning for the airport and the plane. Do you want to explain this one?
Yep, airport and plane. These are two areas that you're going to be in for a while, and you want to make sure you are prepared. So with the airport and the plane, we make sure that we have snacks ready to eat in the airport as we're going through customs. We might get hungry while we're waiting for the plane. Also, when you're on the plane, you're going to get hungry. It's going to be a long flight, and we don't want to rely on the airplane itself because they may not have a snack for us, or it may not be very good. So we'll have these same type of things, fruit bars, nut bars, our energy balls, ready to go. Yeah.
And we also like to look at being in the airplane as having an opportunity to have what we call like the airplane picnic. So what I like to do is prepare a meal in advance for us to take with us on the plane that is not something that needs to be heated to enjoy, and it's kind of something that's easy to eat, so it's not going to be like a messy thing. So some of those things that I put together would be, rice bowls. So I'll have like rice and tofu, lots of veggies. It might have some, nice sauce on there. Try to avoid things with like peanuts, just in case somebody on the plane has like a nut allergy. So we're mindful of how we season things when we take it with us. But that's like a really nice, easy thing to eat with a fork or a spoon on the plane. Yep. Sometimes we'll take sandwiches, so it just depends. But that way we're not caught out again without food, and then having to rely on things at the airport, which are, number one, they're expensive. Number two, they often don't taste very good. And then even on the airplane, sometimes if they do have a vegan option for you, sometimes it's not that great, or oftentimes they don't even have that option for you.
Yeah, speaking of, you want to make sure that you do check out the vegan options available. So you might have to contact the airlines directly, both to your destination and from your destination, and request a specific vegan meal. Otherwise, they usually have a vegetarian option and the regular option. But if you want a vegan meal, we strongly suggest you to contact the actual flight provider. If it's Air Canada, whatever it is, contact them and they should be able to take care of you.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So as you can see, preparation is the key here. That's the theme here, right? Preparing ahead of time so you're not caught with any kind of surprises and you're left hungry, because that's when we will, look for other options. So that being said, what is number 3? Tip number 3, what's happening?
So again, on that same vein of preparing in advance, I like to do, actually both of us do this, we research in advance. So what I like to do is...
Actually, I don't do the research part.
Okay, I was trying to give you the...
This is definitely your specialty. No. I'm not
I was trying to give you some credit.
I'm not taking credit for something I don't do. This part is all Aneesa. We both know our roles. That's her role.
Yeah.
She is supposed to do the research ahead of time in regards to what we're eating. So go ahead, take it away.
So one of the things that we love about traveling is being able to try different vegan food all over the world, and we have just been spoiled with all of the options available. Really, we've never had a problem anywhere we've been. Knock on wood, that kind of continues.
Yep.
So one of the things I do is I research. So what I will do is, I will check out blogs online. I will check out travel vlogs from vegan bloggers on YouTube. I will check out, Instagram posts and things like that, looking for, vegan options in the areas that we're traveling, to get ideas and inspiration. And I read all the reviews. I check the menus out. Like, I'm really thorough about it because, if we're only going to get to eat a couple of meals in each location that we are, I want to make sure that we're trying the best of the best when it comes to vegan or plant-based food.
For sure.
The other really major tip I have is making sure that you download the Happy Cow app on your phone. I actually, even before we travel, it's always on my phone, and it's part of my research process. So I'll be able to plug in, we're traveling to a certain city and where are the vegan options, and you can even sort by vegan friendly or actual vegan restaurants and things like that. So it also helps us with the research and kind of narrowing down the places that we want to check out. There have been so many times where that app has helped us. Where
it's clutch. This app is clutch. I always go to you, what about Happy Cow? What's Happy Cow saying? Are you doing Happy Cow yet?
And it gives you ratings, it gives you everything. So it's in really great pictures. So it's just so helpful for our planning process. So I always make sure we've got that. And then I also keep a note on my phone. So now that I've done all of this research, I have a note on my phone with, each of the locations that we're going to be, because often when we're traveling, we go to multiple cities and things like that. So I break it down by each city, and then these are the restaurants that we want to try. I'll even have a note in detail explaining, this restaurant we want to try, this particular item on the menu, because again, I do not want to miss out on all that delicious vegan food, right?
For sure. And there are so many vegan options, you'd be surprised how many there are. It's all about just preparing ahead of time, knowing what's available, knowing where you're going to be, what's there, and that's it. And then when you get there, you have a list of places to already check out, But that doesn't mean that's the end all and be all. There is another option. Is that the next tip?
It is, but I'm just going to backtrack one more step for a second, and then we'll segue back to where you were going. I'm so sorry. The other thing that I do is on social media. So typically on Instagram, I will reach out to vegans that are local to the area that we're traveling, and I will ask them, what are the spots that you guys go to that you recommend that it's a must try for your city? And I found that is so helpful as well, because what better way than to find out from vegans that are eating in that city all the time? And we've even had people that reach out to us asking for our opinion about where we live and what they should try, and we always try to give them the best recommendations. So that's a great one. So going to the fourth tip, you were saying about again going with that vein of asking people for their opinions.
For sure. The fourth tip is talking to the local people, right? You want to get there, so your preparation is already done, so you have a plan, initial plan, but the thing is, Happy Cow in a lot of places may not know some of the authentic, off the beaten path, no pun intended there, maybe there is, we're not sure, but restaurants and places that are super authentic and little holes in the wall, you want to talk to the locals, ask the person, the people at the hotel, and anywhere else you may just meet people, just ask them, hey, any good places to eat? And you want to check those out for sure, because those can be some gems sometimes. But for the most part, we'll find some of those places here and there, but you do a great job. It's so thorough of preparing us ahead of time, and we're oftentimes not disappointed, So.
And even when we're in that location now, we're asking the locals and we're getting ideas. One of the things that is we find a bit harder to research from when we're at home, but not terribly hard, but one of the things that's more helpful when you're actually at the location that you're traveling in is talking to the locals and finding out about these gems of restaurants or dishes at particular restaurants. They may not be a vegan restaurant. It might be just, a great authentic restaurant in that region that has accidentally vegan items on the menu. And we have experienced some of the most beautiful cuisine that way, where it's, you're just traveling to a great location that has really beautiful produce and really great food, and they have great ways of preparing it. So we're getting that chance to eat that really authentic food from that region, but it happens to be vegan. So we're never closed off to going to those non-vegan restaurants, in some situations. And we've been, pleasantly surprised. I can think of in particular when we were in Greece, there was just some phenomenal things at non-vegan restaurants, and we were just spoiled with the options.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'll jump in, I'll correct one thing in terms of I don't think it's accidentally vegan, it's just vegan.
Yeah.
Like food, a lot of local authentic cuisines are just vegan because that's the way they are. There's no meat, it's just beautiful spices, beautiful vegetables, bean medleys, this and that, and they are just vegan, and they're meant that way, right? Every culture, every area of the world has its non-vegan and vegan dishes. So yeah, everywhere has something good, and we love experiencing them. So tip number 5, what's the final one? Pick up the local fruit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and supplies. So when we're at the location, we do like to get some supplies from like the grocery store. We'll try to get you were saying fruit.
We'll pick up anything, we'll go to the local markets and just pick up fresh food, fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, maybe some, plant-based milk, because we may want to, just make our own things at home in our hotel sometimes. So, or sometimes they have like we've been to so many markets where they have like cute little, takeaway boxes, and we'll just grab some stuff, take it home. We'll find some, and a lot of these markets will also have some really good authentic items that we can take back with us as well. That's how you want to go to the market. So for example, Greece, we found some olive oil, like amazing olive oil in these markets. Yeah,
and spices and things like that too. But yeah, just to sustain us when we're on the trip, having the fruit in our hotel room that's waiting for us in the fridge for snacks, or to take with us when, on our travels when we're out for the day exploring, so we're not having to stop anywhere. And we've got our trusty backpack full of food and snacks and things is always helpful. The milks I typically use when we're using like the plant-based milk and get it from the store. If I want to have a cup of tea at the end of the night, it's great for that, or adding it to our oatmeal in the morning. Also, the fruit is great too for, depending on what the fruit is, to add to our oatmeal, the oatmeal packs that we have. The oatmeal pack is totally great on its own, but if we can add, some fresh berries and things, it's always lovely. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, that's our 5 tips. Before we end the episode, another thing we thought we'd mention is traveling as much as we have to different parts of the world. One of the cool things we've noticed is that the local food seems to do really well for us, right?
You mean digestion-wise?
Digestion-wise, yeah. It seems to sit really well. We're not entirely sure why that is, but we have some theories at least. When we travel, our stress levels are down so much. You're not working, you're not busy. We get to focus on our food a lot more, which is really important. Something you try to implement here as well, whenever possible.
Yeah.
But your stress is relieved. You're kind of enjoying your food more slowly.
We don't have any screens on when we're eating at the restaurants and things. We're chatting, enjoying the food. We're talking about the food. We're enjoying everything about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Even though we're eating out so much, we find our digestion is great. It doesn't bother us at all. And some of the foods in these countries we go to, they're much fresher, we find. My goodness, the fruit and the vegetables, the produce outside of North America and Europe, wow.
Like the tomato, like a tomato in Greece compared to a tomato out of, from summer, in the summer that we get here in Canada, which is the best tomato you're going to get locally. It's just night and day difference.
Yeah.
Like you could literally just pop those tomatoes and eat them, and they're just beautiful.
For sure.
Figs, oh my goodness, like the figs in Europe during fig season. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness.
But just such great food. Even some of the heavier, sometimes harder to digest foods, things like pasta or breads and things. We find that just the digestion is so fantastic over there, and I don't know if it's something to do with the food or, as we were saying before, focusing on that, being mindful as we're eating and enjoying the food might be just all it is. I don't know, but.
The honest truth is we're not like food experts from Europe. We don't know the food system, but we've read enough, researched enough, talked to enough people, experienced things ourselves to know that the food is different parts of the world, and it does make a difference. Like we'll eat, out almost every meal, big meals, and I don't feel as heavy. I don't feel bloated. You're thinking if you're eating out every single meal, you're going to come back, maybe put on a couple extra pounds. I feel great. Very cool, interesting observation. And we'd love to know about your experiences and if you feel the same way. When you travel, does your stomach feel a bit better? Is the digestion a bit better? Do you notice the food is different in different parts of the world? We'd love to have this conversation and just hear from other people. Okay, so that's it for this week's video. If you enjoyed these tips, please remember to hit the like button and also to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss on our latest video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on Apple and Google, as well as our Instagram and Facebook channels. We have tons of giveaways, lots of contests. We talked about those energy balls. We've been giving those away. You want to check that out on Instagram. That is the place for the latest stuff. Lots of content there and lots of giveaways coming to you. But before you leave, do not forget to check out these videos right here.
And subscribe over here.
Thank you so much for joining us again. We cannot wait to see you next time on Offbeet Life. Signing out. See ya.
Bye.